Hi, and welcome to another edition of Your Health with Dr. Christy. My name is Dr. Christy Reisinger, and today I'd like to talk to y'all about ultra-processed foods. Did y'all know that currently 58% of Americans' diets for those aged 1 and older come from ultra-processed foods? And for children, that number is even higher. For children aged 2 to 19, 67% of their calories came from ultra-processed foods. Studies have shown that ultra-processed foods deteriorate the diet, and we know that ultra-processed foods have been linked to obesity, cardiovascular disease, cancer, elevated cholesterol, and even premature death. So why do we keep eating these ultra-processed foods, and what are ultra-processed foods? So anything that is ultra-processed likely has an ingredient that's not in your kitchen. Ingredients such as high fructose corn syrup, fructose, fruit juice concentrates, maltodextrin, hydrogenated oils, hydrolyzed proteins, and whey protein are some of the ingredients that are found in highly or ultra-processed foods. Ultra-processed foods also have really long shelf lives and usually are in fancy packaging with bright colors and may have a lot of health claims like low fat, low sugar, things like that. We know ultra-processed foods tend to be high in fat, sugar, and carbohydrates, but that's not the only reason why they contribute to all of the health problems that we're seeing. There was a really interesting study done by the NIH of 20 people around the age of 31 who were stable in their weight and had a BMI around 27. For 2 weeks, these participants ate a highly or ultra-processed diet, and then for 2 weeks had an unprocessed diet. And the diets were matched for things like salt and sugar, fat, proteins, calories, so that they were getting the same macronutrients and calories in each portion that was offered to them. Participants rated both of the diets equally for flavor, and they liked them both equally. But on average, the participants, when they ate the ultra-processed diet, ate 500 calories more a day. And they gained about 2 pounds over that 2-week period that they were eating the ultra-processed diet. And then when they were switched to the unprocessed diet, the participants tended to lose 2 pounds. One interesting finding is that participants, when they were eating the ultra-processed diet, tended to eat a lot more quickly. And they did lots of blood studies on patients when they were on the unprocessed versus highly processed diets. And they found that the hunger hormones like leptin, ghrelin, and PYY were at better levels when they were on the unprocessed diet. And also things like blood sugar, insulin, and cholesterol were lower on patients when they were eating the unprocessed diet. I find this study so fascinating because they match the diets so well. So we can't just say highly processed foods contain more fat, carbohydrates, sugar, and salt because they were matched in this study. So there's something about the ultra processing of these foods that make people feel less satiated with them and cause patients to eat more quickly and to eat more calories in one sitting. Something about these foods is highly rewarding to our brain and causes us to have almost an addiction-like reaction to them. They're put in these really fun packages. They last on the shelf for long periods of time, and they can be relatively inexpensive. But we know that people need to eat more calories to feel full of these particular type of foods, and eating these types of foods changes the gut microbiome, which then can cause fewer calories to be consumed inside the gut. And then the rush of sugar from these ultra-processed foods can just simply overwhelm the liver. Of course, at the end of the day, the best thing would be to just eat fewer ultra-processed foods, but knowing how to discern whether your food is ultra-processed or not can be a little tricky. And there's a great website called truefood.tech that is being developed by scientists at Northwestern University. And it's real interesting. You can enter in particular foods and find alternatives that are less processed. For instance, you can enter different types of pasta and find one that's more minimally processed than others. Products that have more green are more minimally processed and thought to be better for you. I don't think we can have a discussion about obesity in America without also talking about the ultra processing of our foods and how detrimental that's been to our health overall. I just can't help but think that there's a connection between the increased processing of the American diet and the increase in obesity that we see in America. At the end of the day, the fewer ingredients that your food has in it, the better and more minimally processed it is. Thanks for joining me.